Powered by the Salt Mine Studios, where we are right now with one of the city's premier talents.
Yes.
It's like a Swiss Army knife.
It's a man of many talents.
Yeah. I like that.
Rapper, producer, filmmaker,
Social media influencer.
social media influencer,
A sous chef. Floral bandana wearer.
kung fu master.
No. We got Jerron Eichner in the building. What's happening, sir?
I am doing fantastic. Life is beautiful right now. I'm on top of the world right now.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
look, I follow you. I follow you on social media,
Yeah.
and one, I like your perspective on a lot of things. I just thought I'd tell you that now that you see me.
Thank you.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. There's a lot of people I just follow to see if they dead or not, but I actually like your posts. You know what I'm saying?
I try to be entertaining on Facebook. A lot of people like to post baby pictures and stuff like that. I try to make you think a little bit if you're going to be on the app all day.
I'm just here to make you think.
Yeah.
He's very blunt too, I would say.
A little bit. Yeah.
It's the most effective way to get people to think a little bit.
Yeah, forget your feelings.
That means that,
I have a question before we get too far
Into the weeds?
Sure.
Let's get into this stuff. You refer to yourself as the Arizona Kanye.
Arizona Kanye. All right. Yeah. So originally it started off as a joke when Kanye was supposed to drop Yandi, I believe it was. First of all, before we get into deep, I'm a massive Kanye West fan, probably the biggest.
So it's
That you know.
Yeah, me too.
And so
I'm with you on that.
I get disappointed when he doesn't follow through with his promises. And so with Yandi, he's like, yo, I'm gonna put out Yandi. I was super excited. He didn't drop it. And then as a joke, he's like, you know what? I'm just going to drop my version of this album called Arizona Kanye. And so all the title tracks of that project were the song, all the album titles were the album that he didn't release. So Help Me God, Graphic 16. It's like a whole joke kind of playing into Kanye. But I put it on Reddit, the R Kanye Reddit forum, and it blew up. So it went super viral. A lot of people hit it up. And the joke became a little bit bigger than what it was at that point. So now we're on Arizona Kanye 5.
He had to roll with it.
Yeah, Arizona Kanye 5. And actually, this is the first announcement. It drops on 2/21/22. So the day before Donda 2 comes out, allegedly.
Nice. Okay.
So did you call yourself the Arizona old Kanye, or were you the Arizona new Kanye?
Good question.
That makes a difference too, right?
Yeah, it's pre-Lexapro or post-Lexapro.
Before Kim Kardashian
A little bit of both. I mean, I admire Kanye just because of his tenacity, but also his innovation. But
Right.
he's also kind of crazy, and so am I. You brought up my Facebook post, and I do say some wild stuff on there, and that's because I like to think I operate at a different frequency than most other people, and that's why I resonate with Kanye. So it's kind of all Kanye's, you know what I'm saying? The whole spectrum of that Kanye vibe. But to me, and this might sound kind of weird, at this point, Kanye, quote unquote, is a genre of music. There's artists who attach themselves to Kanye West's sound, the innovation with soul samples, et cetera, so forth, where you can have artists with that lineage of Kanye West music, and I'm one of them. You know what I'm saying? I say that I graduate from the school of Kanye West in terms of his the way he approached the industry.
You should really talk to the Pope's wife, because
Yeah, my wife feels like Kanye is a genre all his own too.
Yeah.
So I gotta say, just while we're talking about it, I mean, dude, his innovation, right? He approaches music from such a different perspective.
Sure.
A lot of people jumped on Donda, and I thought it was a masterpiece myself. Given that it crossed into the gospel realm, right? The way you did it, that's just
someone call him A, someone call him B.
That's the thing about innovation, though, is that if you're ahead of the curve and you're pushing the threshold, it's very rare that people accept it wholeheartedly. You know what I'm saying? There's going to be people who hate it, and that's kind of where I pride myself, not even just to be on my own jock, but I always find myself ahead of the curve when it comes to how people operate globally and abroad. And I don't get a lot of exception for that until people catch up to what I'm doing. By then, I'm already 3 years ahead. And
I feel like this market has always been a little bit behind.
This is true.
You know what I'm saying? For a long
bit.
time, with music, with culture. But I will say this: I think in the past 10 years, it has caught up. You know what I mean? Do you feel the same?
Arizona as a whole,
Yeah, just being behind.
we're getting there.
we're getting there. I think what Arizona's biggest problem is that they want to attach themselves to identity. But the thing about Arizona is that we're a melting pot. that's the biggest thing that makes us great is the fact that we do have all these different transplants coming from this state to make it this unique sound. We could flip a Atlanta style beat or a New York style beat or a beat from California from any artist out here and have it be comfortable. You know what I'm saying?
But isn't that could that also be like a negative thing though?
Depending on who you ask, it's kind of hard to market that way, right? Like we're not necessarily a market when it comes to touring or even doing big festivals out here because of that fact that it's hard to lock in that demographic. We're mostly a college-based state with ASU, U of A. There's a lot of people who come and go in this state, but not a lot of people who stay here. And the ones that stay here, they kind of have a ego around themselves. Right?
Hey, look, like us. Let's do this. Let's jump into some music. Exactly.
Right. Let's be honest. Jerron's here.
Right. Let's come back and we'll talk some more with Jerron Eichner. You got a movie on deck, all kind of stuff going on, right?
Yes.
We'll be right back and we're gonna discuss it. All right, don't touch nothing. This is the All New Beat Locker Show. Cheers. Let's get it. All right, it's Power 98.3, the All New Beat Locker Show. We got Arizona's Kanye in the building. Jerron Eichner. Hey, so I want to know about the movie.
Yeah, let's talk about it.
Right. So first of all, I be serious when I'm on your post. Like, yeah, I'll be the waiter. You know what I'm saying, or the dude reading the newspaper at the bus. So just keep your.
Well, we are about to shoot our next film, Magenta. So let's get a cameo.
All right, bet.
If you ever do a movie about contract killers, please.
Oh yeah, is that your lane?
That's my lane.
All right.
I shoot people for fun.
Okay.
Nah. So what's the flick about? What's the name of it?
So,
Where you headed?
The film is called The Bond, and so with The Bond, actually originally I was supposed to start shooting this film called Magenta 2 years ago before the pandemic hit. I graduated from SEC Film School with 2 degrees, one in screenwriting, one in film production, and basically I was going to shoot Magenta as my thesis film. The pandemic hit literally 2 weeks before we started shooting. They shut down the school. The project was canceled. At that point, I used all my stimulus dollars to buy a bunch of camera equipment and basically put an open post on Facebook saying, hey, I'm trying to shoot some stuff, some short films, so on and so forth. That's actually how I met this guy over here, Voodoo Eyes, who's a part of my Starstruck entourage. He came onto the film as well as other people, including Ash Bridges, Zion Monroe, Jasmine Delgado. They all basically volunteered to be a part of this film. We shot this guerrilla style throughout the streets of Phoenix on train tracks and et cetera, so forth. Very hard process, but the short of it is the film is about 2 brothers fighting their way through a pandemic, which is, very relevant.
Right.
This takes place in the year 2025. The city is known as New Phoenix, and it's actually a city that's been co-opted by a corporation known as Dynamation. Dynamation is taking these cities and making them safe wellness cities that are virus-free, but outside the city, it is chaos, also known as the dead zone. And so, based off of a series of events, I don't want to spoil the movie, but these brothers end up in the dead zone, and they're basically fighting against Dynamation and another faction called Turn, who is the Rebel Alliance trying to stop Dynamation from
Taking over the world.
Man,
I'm in.
Yeah,
I'm in right now. The plot's got me.
Yeah, I was like, when does this come out? Because I want to watch this.
So we're actually doing a red carpet premiere. You guys are all invited. April 30th at the Majestic in Tempe. So it'll be a full, dress to your nines, red carpet event, showing the whole movie. We'll probably have a Q&A afterwards, some posters, some stuff like that to give out. And then the film will be available exclusively on thebondmovie.com May 5th. That's a kind of tentative date. But it'll be available for streaming and download there for about 3 months, and then that fall will be available worldwide. It's on all the streaming sites.
Yeah, so like
Nice.
I said, if you do anything that has to do with contract killers or zombies,
I'm gonna write a
You're in?
script.
I'm in.
You got me now. I'm just gonna write a movie for you now.
So what's Magenta about?
So I can't really give away too many details about Magenta because of reasons, but 2 lives that are intertwined together by a tragic event.
Okay.
The reason why it's called magenta is because magenta is actually known as an impossible color, meaning that it doesn't exist on the color spectrum. It actually only happens when you look at red and blue. And so everybody sees the color magenta differently in their eye cones. And so the concept of this movie is basically playing with the concept of perception.
Okay.
The opening scene, which I can talk about because we're going to be making a trailer here for it soon, involves our main character getting pulled over by the police officer. It kind of gives off that vibe that it's about to be some racial, and this dude's about to get pulled out and beat by the police officer, but the police officer lets him go and says, thank you for your service. You don't know why, you find out later on in the movie why he says that, but the whole idea is that it plays with your perception. You start to feel a certain way and start to kind of go in a certain direction, but then the color switches
Okay.
and you start to see things differently.
So
we're actually starting to shoot that in 2 weeks, and that will be done by December.
Is there soundtracks to these?
Yes.
Visuals.
So one of the songs I actually sent you will be exclusive. You guys got the exclusive. It is the lead single to the Bond soundtrack called Bonded for Life. It's my lead single. There's also the single with myself and Voodoo Eyes called Cross, which has been out all summer. It's been doing pretty well. It has like 20,000 streams, I think, on Spotify. So it's been doing pretty well. But the soundtrack actually features, we got Penny on there, Pennywise. Penny the Great, I think Penny the Great.
Penny the Great.
Sorry. We got Dobby Fresh, we got the Dropout Kings on there, Cash Lansky, Voodoo Eyes, De La Creed's on there. I have several songs on there. It's actually a really, really good soundtrack.
It sounds like it. I mean, you played almost everybody you named on Beat Locker.
Yeah. And so that's gonna be coming pretty soon. I think March 30th is the release date for that. We're
Okay.
gonna be shooting a bunch of videos for that here soon.
Now, since I know you're an artist, also, you know, besides a filmmaker, but do you remember how soundtracks to movies? We were just talking about like Above the Rim soundtrack and Boomerang soundtrack. Are you like trying to get back to that where the soundtrack
Yes.
was more almost as important as the movie itself?
So, being a multimedia artist, which is what I call myself. I don't call myself a rapper or a director because I go in all different lanes. I pride myself in my ability to have decent, strong rollouts and storytelling. And so part of my inspiration for this rollout for this movie was actually inspired by Eminem's 8 Mile and what he did in that year. So when he dropped the Eminem show, he dropped Lose Yourself, and then that ran into the movie. That's
So
like
you dropped the soundtrack.
they dropped the soundtrack. To me, it's one of the greatest rollouts of all time. Just in terms of like how that hit the people. I'm on the same wave. I just put out my album, The Setting Sun, a couple months ago. We got the first single that you guys will be debuting on here. And then the soundtrack coming out leading into the movie. Got another movie coming out that year.
Dope, man. You are working.
Yeah.
You working, man. So, look, before we jump into the record, I want you to let us know again where you can get the Bond movie. Give us the release date again, and then basically give us a shameless plug, man. Plug all your projects.
Sure. I'll try and keep it condensed because I got a lot going on. So, the Bond movie will be out May 5th on thebondmovie.com as an exclusive download and stream via Vimeo for 3 months. Red carpet premiere April 30th. Tickets will be available on thebondmovie.com. There's only 200 tickets, so get your tickets when they drop. I'm working backwards here. March 30th would be the Bond soundtrack release. There's 14 brand new tracks featuring like all the people I mentioned before. Lead single Bonded for Life with videos coming pretty soon. Arizona Kanye 5 drops 2/21/22. And you can find me at Jaron Eichner, so that's JaronIkner. And then you can also check out the website starstruckmultimedia.com, which is my main business. Yeah, because I do a lot more than just art stuff. We're actually branching off into video production for like addiction intake centers and diversity training centers and stuff like that. Like my company's actually been exploding a lot lately. So we're doing more than just rap stuff, basically.
Nice.
So very proud of my team, like Noah, Joey, and just everything else we got going on. It's a very beautiful thing. I'm very blessed right now. And I count my blessings every day when I wake up.
All right, man. Well, we appreciate you coming and sharing it with us.
Sir.
And of course, we support it all, right?
Yes.
I want to come to the red carpet.
Yes.
I'm interested.
All invited.
Yes, I do.
So we'll definitely be there. I appreciate you coming, and let's jump into Bonding for Life,
Let's do that.
right? Hey, this is off the Bond movie soundtrack. Bonding for Life, Jaron Eichner,
Yes, sir.
right here in the building, man. We appreciate you.